Today, we're going to be talking about the top 25 kitchen essentials that I use and that you will need to level up your culinary game in 2022. Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well and excited for the new year of 2022. Listen, I was contemplating if I should even upload this video, but I just felt like someone needed this, especially if you have New Year resolutions to get more into cooking or learning new recipes that have been passed down to you. So welcome to another episode on the Creative Phebe channel, where we as culinary-curious millennials level up our culinary game so that we can confidently cook the foods we love to heal our bodies. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Phoebe. I'm a food photographer, a chef, and a cooking mentor. And if you did not know, I released my first cookbook last year, which includes 12 delicious recipes that you can start making today. I've included a link in the description below for your free download. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 25 kitchen essentials that I use and that you will need to level up your culinary game in 2022. If you know someone who would like to learn more about cooking, or you're remaking one of my recipes from my cooking tutorials, or you're trying to make something a family favorite that has been passed down to you during this holiday season, and you do not have the equipment or the tools needed to make those recipes, this video is for you. Note that every item I mention in this video is a personal preference, a guide, and barely touching the glamorous world of kitchen essentials. Most of the items I got from thrift stores, which is a great place to get quality items for less. And others I got on sale from other stores and even online years ago. Now, whatever you need to do, get some tea, a slice of cake, or whatever it is that you need, and enjoy this content. First on the list are mixing bowls. They are versatile and important in the preparation of all recipes. And they're the first items I reach out for when I'm making my meals. I advise that you get a set that comes with different sizes so you can hold different amounts of ingredients during your cooking. Use them to make fresh pasta, toss up salads, nut milks, combine ingredients for pie filling, soak dried grains, and so much more. Choose metal or glass bowls because plastic versions do not last long. They easily stain and also retain food odor, which will not lend well if you want to mix up a cake batter in a bowl that you use to grate onions. All right, next, from 2 to 4, we're covering measuring aids, and these include measuring cups, measuring spoons, and food scale for precision. As a recipe developer, I use these tools all the time so that I can easily replicate and adjust varying quantities of ingredients so that I can determine the outcome. That way it will taste, look, and smell the right way. So if you're someone who cooks all the time and your dishes taste amazing, but you're disappointed that you do not remember the measurements of those ingredients, these tools will keep you happy. But remember, even if you get measuring spoons and measuring cups, depending on what part of the region of the world you reside, the quantities will vary slightly. For example, a UK and a European measuring cup will hold about 250 grams. However, a US version will hold 240 grams, which will affect the outcome of your recipe. That is why I prioritize using a food scale and provide my measurements in metric system, because majority of the world use the metric system, unlike in the US, use the imperial system. So, prioritize food scale over measuring cups and spoons. 5 and 6 on the list would be wooden spoons and ladles and spatulas. I prioritize using wooden and spatula, that way it will preserve the cooking surfaces of my pots, pans, and bowls. Unlike what would happen if you use metal utensils, which would scratch the surfaces. I use these utensils to cook my meal, stir ingredients, level, mix, cake batter, and more. If you use non-stick cooking ware, I would advise that you invest in wooden and silicone cooking utensils. Number 7 on the list is a good set of kitchen knives. Now, there are so many different types of knives out there, but I keep it basic yet functional. I use 4 types of knives: a paring knife, a medium and a large chef knife, and a serrated knife. I use a paring knife to pry the coconut meat from its shell, peel fruits and vegetables, a chef knife for chopping vegetables and fruits, pit foods like cherries, although a cherry pitter will be handy for this task. These knives are great for slicing cakes, while a serrated knife is best for cutting breads. A vegetable peeler would also be great to add into the knife collection. 8 to 10 cover pots, pans, and saucepans. And that would cover frying pans for making omelets, sauteing vegetables, saucepans for making soups, boiling eggs, boiling different kinds of vegetables, large pots for making stews, roasts, and one-pot meals. When it comes to this section, I prioritize getting pots that conduct heat well. Some will have a lid with an opening to let out steam, and some that are oven safe for certain cooking methods. Whether you choose to go with a non-stick, ceramic, or metal pot, make sure that the materials used to make them are safe for you and your family to eat from. Number 11 and 12 on the list would cover baking tins, muffin tins, and baking sheets. These are great, especially if you love to bake or want to learn more about baking. I myself would love to learn more about baking. Alright, so here's what you're going to need. A loaf pan for baking breads, a medium and large baking sheets for baking cookies and making pastries like galettes, roasting vegetables as well. You're also going to need a casserole dish to also roast things like chicken or vegetables, and a muffin tin for making muffins, cupcakes, mini quiches. You know, I also use my baking sheets to sort out grains. It makes it so much easier to see if there are any stones in the bagged grains. Number 13 on the list cover kitchen towels. These are great to hold the hot lid of a pot, holding the pot's handle to stir the contents in the pot, transferring a hot baking sheet from the oven to the counter surface, or simply wiping down your counter during and after cooking. Kitchen towels made of cotton are best. I would also add in kitchen mitts and aprons if you want to look the part whilst cooking your favorite dish. Number 16 are graters. I use 2 types, a box grater and a zester. Depending on the kind of box grater you get, whether it comes with 3, 4, 5, or 6 sides, you got to choose the right hole so you can shred your food. This is great if you do not have a food processor to shred foods like vegetables and cheese, which is what I typically use these for, especially if I want to make a coleslaw, and I just really enjoy using the box grater to grate the carrot and the cabbage and so on. The zester I use to grate lemons, ginger, and nutmeg. Really great for grating your spices. Before moving on to number 17 on the list, if you find this video helpful, which I hope you do and are also enjoying it, please give it a thumbs up so that other people can find it through YouTube's algorithm. Remember to subscribe and turn on all notifications. That way you do not miss my upcoming videos. Alright, next on the list would be sieves. Like mixing bowls, I advise that you get sieves of different sizes, from small to large. And you also want it to be made of stainless steel. That way they can retain their shape after straining hot liquids like hot oil. I use sieves to shift solids like flour and strain liquids hot and cold. Number 18 on the list, I'm gonna add funnels. These are great to transfer liquids. I think also solids. It will also work for solids. I don't use it a lot just because I don't have a need to, but funnels, they come in different materials, metals as well as plastic, but they look like this, just like a funnel. Really great for transferring liquids, solids as well, to reduce the amount of spillage. Number 19 on the list would be whisks. You can get handheld or electric ones. Now, depending on what I'm making, I tend to go with one over the other. For example, it's very easy to overbeat eggs using an electric whisk, so I'll prioritize using a handheld one. Whisks are such an elegant kitchen tool that you can use to make some meringues, whisk pancakes, scramble eggs, you know. All right, y'all, we're going on to number 20. We're really going down this list and we're almost done. Number 20, number 21, and number 22 will cover larger appliances. That would be coffee grinder, blender, and a food processor. In my last episode that I made some banana oatmeal bread, you see that I used a coffee grinder to make some oat flour, which is great. That way we can reduce the amount of processing and know exactly what is in our ingredients. So that's how I use a coffee grinder, and you can also use it if you are a coffee drinker, as well as making your own spice blends. Next is one of my favorite appliances, which is my trusty blender. You've seen me using in a few of my cooking tutorials. I use this to make sauces, nut milks, juices for popsicles, hummus, soup bases. You can use it to make smoothies and so much more. And food processors are great for making a pie or cake crust, whizzing a shortbread recipe, making hummus, or even making some mayonnaise. Next on the list are chopping boards. You can get a plastic or a wooden one, but like I mentioned, for the mixing bowls, aim for something that would last longer, like getting a wooden one instead of a plastic one, because it's gonna be more durable. Remember, if you're a meat eater, aim to get 2 separate chopping boards to reduce the amount of food contamination. These are easy to transport, clean, and maintain, especially if you do not have a food safe counter. You can also apply some oil on your wooden chopping boards to preserve the material, especially if it's made from really good wood like ebony or mahogany wood. Like you see in my previous episodes, I use a chopping board to chop vegetables, fruits, and I also use the rolling pin to roll out dough and make some pastries. All right, next on the list would be a colander, which I do not use much of, but when I do, I use it to drain pasta, wet salad leaves, or use as a nearby refuse to hold vegetable peels during my preparation to cook. Number 25 is probably one of the most important tips / tools, because this is not something you can find outside of you. This is something that is inside of you. Number 25 is about you and your ferocious confidence. Why? Because you can look through all the cooking books you find, scroll through all of those scrumptious looking photos on IG, visit the store or do some online shopping on some of the items that I mentioned. But if you do not have the confidence, or you dampen your confidence by saying, no one loves my cooking, I'm so horrible at cooking, or oh my gosh, I'm gonna burn the house down while cooking, that is gonna be a very hard challenge for you to overcome. So my trick for you is to decide on one recipe that you're willing to try. You gotta put your all into it. Again, download my cookbook while it's free using the link in the description before prices readjust. Get your ingredients, put on some really good music like jazz, and get to cooking. Put on that apron, get your kitchen towels, get your mixing bowls out, and have fun. That's the point of this. Be confident and have fun during this cooking. If you're watching this and you're a new or inexperienced home chef, comment below what you would like to cook more of in 2022. I definitely will be learning more about other cooking methods and sharing my favorites here with you. Do not forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, as well as share it with all of your other culinary curious connections. Until then, take care of your healthy selves. I'm wishing you the absolute best for the new year, a healthy one indeed. All right, bye.